Okay, here we go. As usual, technical difficulties and not getting here as fast as I ought to. Tried to print a PDF and it was like 8 minutes in and about a third of the way done. So we're going to have to go without the PDF, which is the way you do it. Okay, and the big news is in the Middle East, and nobody's sure how that'll shake out. you know, there's implications if you don't do anything. There's implications if you do something. Tried to print it. That's the way it is. It's always to be or not to be, as we know. But I'm logging on a little late today, so let's get going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. I have two things I want to cover today. One was this is a leftover from the Hustle series of news stories I did yesterday, but I didn't get to this one, and I really liked this one. I was going to do these. Let's go over here and get to this. I was going to do what we're looking forward to, but it was very short. And it said the number one thing was gender neutral clothing, which of course I wear anyway. I've got jeans on and a turtleneck. Is that gender neutral? I think it is. Wear this if you want to, girls. You might look a little monochromatic, but that's okay. And the rubber ducky is making a comeback, but on Facebook, conversations about bath adjacent ingredients like sea salt and chill out music were on the rise. And I'm thinking there's got to be more to it than that. Skincare addiction was the most popular beauty-related community on Reddit. Anyway, and people are looking forward to music concerts, and the president of Hustle was looking forward to the election, which was the only really serious thing on here. First solo vacation and going to weddings and learning more in discovery passion products. I don't know what. Making so many bad jokes about living in the 20s. The roaring 20s. I used the roaring yesterday. I don't know if you noticed that. So let's get over to this one, which is the history of Costco, which I didn't know. And Costco, yes, Costco does break rules. And I went to Costco. My wife had a card for several years and didn't tell me because she knew I couldn't be trusted to go in there. And that's absolutely true. And when I did the other day, pre-Christmas, I bought a TV set along with the can of tuna and something else, pecans, I think, that she wanted, a bag of pecans for baking. Anyway, and I also bought her a case of Menage a Trois red wine, which I got for about $35, which was $7 a bottle, which everybody said was a great deal, and my wife loved that I got her 6 bottles of it for $7 a bottle instead of the $12 a bottle that the grocery store has. So anyway, I do have a card, but it says Susan Miglosh on it, so it's tough to pass ID check. But it's a card. Anyway, so I went over to Costco, and at first impression, Costco makes no sense. You can buy $1.50 hot dog and a $100,000 diamond ring, a 27-pound bucket of mac and cheese, a patio table, a wedding dress, a casket. I didn't see any caskets. I'm going to have to look into that more. I think it's kind of random. I think there might be caskets only some part of the year, like when it gets really hot or really cold, times when more people get sick or die. A tank of gas. Yep, they have gas pumps, some of them. You can get a passport photo. Anyway, I didn't know you could get life insurance. So, everybody's been there. They have like 350 million members. Okay. And, or 50 million members, I think it is. Anyway, the history of Costco is that in 1954, an attorney named Saul Price inherited a vacant airport hangar in San Diego. He raised $50,000 in capital and stocked up on wholesale jewelry, furniture, and liquor. Makes sense. And launched FedMart, a warehouse-style store where government employees could pay a $2 membership fee. Where did he get the idea for this is what I want to know. Anyway, we should really look up more about Saul Price. And, but San Diego, it was a military town, especially back in the 50s. And $2 membership to access an assortment of deals. By the time Saul sold FedMart in 1975, he'd grown it into a $350 million 40-location chain and ushered in the new age of membership clubs. And then he launched Price Club, a one-stop shop that offered everything from car tires to dishwashers at heavily discounted prices. Now, when we say discounted, what we really mean is not marked up. And that was the key. The key was, what can we buy it for, and let's sell it for as little as we can stand, and then figure out a way to make money. Rather than, let's sell it for as much as we can. He refused to gratuitously mark up items. Okay? I don't know if it's gratuitously. It's the foundation of retail, I suppose. But Price Club went against the common textbooks. So there's FedMart. And then Saul hired a young guy named Jim Sinegal. Started as a 19-year-old bagger at FedMart. Spent two decades, so now he's 39, worked his way up to executive vice president of merchandising. He continued on to Price Club when FedMart sold. And by the early 80s, he was well steeped in Saul's strategies and ready to branch out on his own. In September, he and his pal Jeff Brotman launched the first Costco in Seattle. I've been to the Costco, and I've also been to the original FedMart. A giant retail warehouse modeled on Saul's unique principles. By 1993, Costco was such a looming threat that Price Club agreed to a merger. And it was Price Costco, but then they shortened it to Costco, which I like better. So how does this thing work, right? It's got 770 locations, 245,000 employees, $140 billion in sales. And first, it doesn't boost markups. Any savings they can get, they pass on to their shoppers. The average item is only marked up 11%. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean everything's a good deal, I don't think. We got beef tenderloins at the Piggly Wiggly for about $8 a pound on sale, and at Costco they were $20. Now, it may have been better. I've had both. They didn't taste any different to me because I cook them perfection. But anyway, Costco's prices are so low it barely breaks even on its merchandise sales, and despite pressure from investors over the years, it refuses to boost markup. Okay? So Costco was selling Calvin Klein jeans for $29, already $20 less than almost everywhere else. And then they got a better deal and started selling them for $22. Could have kept the price the same. Nobody would have minded. But that's the way they do it. Now, it charges people to enter their stores, obviously. 51,600,000 as of 2018. And the renewal rate is 90%. Okay? And that has a couple of benefits. But one is when you go into Costco, you think, I've already sunk 60%, or I've already sunk $60. I better find a deal. So I did, and you kind of forget that. You just say, "Wow, that's a great deal." You don't distribute the $60 over all of the purchases. We don't go there that often. We should probably go there more. They also have few products. They have 3,700 SKUs, which is about 1/10 of most supermarkets, and not much more than a corner grocery store. Okay. They often have only one or two brands in a given category. So I was shopping for tuna, and the Pig has it for about 50 cents a can for the in-oil cheap tuna. And they only had albacore tuna, and it was $1 or $1.50 a can or something like that. So it wasn't anywhere close. It was way more expensive. But again, if you really want that albacore tuna, which I don't care about, I don't mind the can. There you go. Here's a regular grocery store. Here's a Costco. Big boxes of stuff. It also solves the paradox of choice, if you remember the book Future Shock by Alvin Toffler. He said we're going to get so good at making stuff, you won't know what to get. We'll be frozen. And I'm frozen most of the time. So I stick my choices to Costco, the dollar store, and eBay. Basically, my shopping. Mostly because I don't feel like going out. It's too peoply out there. So it also, this was something I didn't know. It re-engineers products. It is fickle, and this is really big to me. It's fickle about who it chooses to work with. Okay, this is the absolute opposite of Amazon. Amazon takes vendors with illegal products, I think, and unsafe products and fake reviews, and you're way better off going to Costco than Amazon. Just my opinion. And anyway, so they talked about how they had a toy that was, the buyer found a toy that retailed for $100. Because of their buying, they could get it down to about $60, but then they re-engineered the whole thing and got it down to $30. Now, the profit margin Costco made from the toy at $30 was the same it would have made at $60. The margin, the percentage of margin. The time and resources the company invested to lower the price were strictly for the benefit of their shoppers, but it might have also dramatically increased the sales to hit the $30 price point versus the $60. And then ultimately the gross margin, if you do twice the sales at 30, even though the percent, so not only would the percent be the same, but the actual gross margin dollars would be the same. Re-engineering a container of cashews from a circle to a square, I have that square box, allowed Costco to stack more items in a single truck, reducing 24,000 pallets per year. Okay. It also pays its employees $21 an hour on average, and 88% of Costco workers receive company-sponsored health insurance. So that's pretty amazing, right? You could almost live on that. Okay? It values its customers. This was the most interesting part. It values its customers over its shareholders. In the last 30 years, the percentage of corporate profits going to stockholders has increased from 50% to 86%. So that's 50% increase or so. 65% increase. 2/3 has gone up. Okay, so companies are competing for shareholders more than competing for customers. But Costco, the shareholders say they're too generous with the customers, but the stock has gone up 387%. And here's the part that I thought was most important. This is Senegal. On Wall Street, they're in the business of making money between now and next Thursday. We can't take that view. We want to build a company that will still be here 50 years from now. In other words, about twice as long as the shelf life on its 27-pound tubs of mac and cheese. Pretty cool, huh? So anyway, that said, I'll go over here and talk about my upcoming webinar. Someone did register. Let's go back over to here. And the way you register for this webinar next Tuesday is you go to wdma.org. See below, WDMA down at the bottom, wdma.org. Thanks, Keith, for registering. I saw that you did. And you go over to WDMA, and if you go to the home screen, which looks like this, see if I get back to it, you'll see a button, and you click the button, and it's black over in the right over here, and you have to set the default number of tickets to at least 1. This is the key part here. If you're on your phone, you got to figure out how to spy that thing. Otherwise, you get an error. Go figure. Anyway, so you go there, register now, put in your email, etc., and off you go. And here's how we're going to talk about this case study. It's going to be great. Okay? But what are we going to cover? We're going to get over here and we're going to say, okay, we got the AI in 90 days guaranteed. We've been making money with data for 25 years. 85% of AI projects fail, but we know you want some. We know you like it. Okay? And I don't know why this, it's so funny. It's so funny. I get this perfectly shaped to fit, and then the dopey thing goes berserko and doesn't fit perfectly. I don't know why. It's because this extra thing came up. I don't know why that happened either. I shouldn't keep saying I don't know why, because I don't, but I shouldn't. Anyway, 80% of, and it'll reset. That's why I wanted a PDF. Okay, why do they fail? Because of risk. The risk keeps going up as the cost goes up, and confusion because they don't know what they want. The CEO wants a return on investment and an improve as you go and scalable growth. And a lot of goals. There's a lot of machine learning goals about customers and acquiring customers and cross-selling to customers and retaining customers. But the problem, and here's the kicker, here's the key thing. You know, we all know about 2011, Jeopardy did, Watson played Jeopardy and won at Jeopardy. But the problem is that, or the thing that they had when they trained Watson was 27,000 Jeopardy questions. So it knew when it was right and when it was wrong, and they could keep playing the game over and over. The machine didn't remember the questions. They just have to reset, try it again, change their algorithm, tweak it until the machine figured out that noun, negation, Google search kind of thing, not Google search, but they had their own data set of vast 90 servers full of 16 terabytes of information. So it was like a big Google in the next room. And they figured out how to search it fast. Now, lately, you've been seeing self-driving cars, and they'll say, I mean, you've been seeing CAPTCHA saying, "Are you human?" And you'll see, where are the stoplights? And what are they doing? Well, they're building a labeled data set. That is a requirement. It's a necessity. Okay? They used to be about words that the computer couldn't recognize when it was OCRing ancient texts. Now it's looking for street signs, etc. Okay? And it's doing that to sell it to the self-driving cars. What they need is a labeled data set. And the question is, how do you get, we're going to get rid of this thing because we know there's lots of stuff. How do we get a labeled data set? And the answer is direct mail. Only direct mail do we know who got mailed, and we know they saw it, and we know who responded because we mail to the house and we ship to the house. So direct mail gives us a labeled data set, and that's why I've been doing AI and machine learning for 25 years when the rest of the world hasn't figured it out at all. They're failing massively. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. But the most fun part is we're going to have some case studies, and the best case study is going to be that one that I just gave you a peek of, because we gave this offer back. We did this webinar back in August, and we got a test in the mail in October, and we got the results on Christmas Eve, and they were whopping good. They were way better. It's, we're not just guaranteeing AI ROI. We're guaranteeing that we win or you don't have to continue. It's either perform or die. So if you have been struggling with AI and you've got a couple of 100,000 active customers, we may be the solution, at least to get you started. I don't promise that we're the ultimate neural net complex thing that there is in the world. I'm sure there's ways to beat what we do, but at least you could get off the ground. And we happen to have beaten 8 different modeling companies around the world already. So we're not really beginners at it either. Anyway, I want to encourage you to register. Go to wdma.org, register, sign up, and we'll have a lot of fun. That one's going to be longer. This is just a little 5-minute overview. So have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. I'm John Miglosh. Happy New Year.